welcome to Beauties and Beasties, the independent pest podcast for the UK. Good evening.
Good evening. How the devil are you?
I'm okay. Martin was waiting.
He was waiting. Yeah. It
was
Wayne
actually
Gardner, met Wayne for the first time the other day, I think. Nice bloke. Martin was waiting for it to come on. Met Rupert now. Met John, spotted John Roche as well, so that's good. Hey, how are you?
Got a t-shirt on, look.
I noticed that. It's getting that time of year where it's getting light enough that we can start wearing t-shirts, and weather's been great, hasn't it?
Don't really do t-shirts, but I got 2 t-shirts.
Yeah. Terry Ashley saying hello. Hi, Terry.
I got this one.
Yeah.
And I got this one.
Oh. For anyone watching at home, Hugh's holding up a t-shirt with infidels and then something written in Aramaic or Arabic or something underneath it. I'm not sure what it says.
And I thought the combination between that and my hat might sort of not go down to not go down.
He's got a Donald Trump hat on as well. Do you know? Yeah, probably won't go down too well, but who cares? You know, my little boy has got this thing with as soon as he sees a cord in a hooded top or a coat or anything, he'll grab it and pull it when I've got it on. I put this coat on, and he's obviously spotted it even when I've not got it on, and give it a good old yank. Oh, well, there you go. Terry Ashley loves his Donald Trump hat and his Infidels t-shirt, and Andy Proper says evening. Yeah.
So how have we been?
Good.
Have you learnt anything this week?
Yeah, I have actually. We've done quite a big drain job, and we had a manhole chamber which needed to be turned into a run through. So manhole chamber is redundant except for one line, so we can now turn it straight through. So there's lines to the left and right which are taken out, and it would have meant excavating and putting bungs in them. However, you can't get in that manhole. It was under the kitchen floor. So we made some phone calls to different people. Guy called Rob Harmon, who is on Sewermen and Proud a lot. He's how would you describe Rob? He's a Scouser. He's from the Northwest. Comes across as quite abrupt at times, but he's a proper educator. He's not an academic. He's a boots on the ground guy. And the problem is when you put a patch in with it, because the balloon is blowing up and the patch is wrapped around the balloon. When it's in a pipe, that's great because it holds its own shape. But when you've got a very large hole, which is and you've effectively got half a line, haven't you, going through the chamber, it would open up like a parcel. So you introduce a calibrated hose, and we got a longer packer, a 1.5 meter packer, different length patches, cali hose, etc., and a few other different things that we do, and we managed to turn the manhole into a straight line without any digging. So that was interesting. Yeah, very, very interesting.
Cool. Sounds good. Sounds all very good. Rupert says, every week I learn there are more and more idiots. Yeah. Well, that's quite true, isn't it? Well, I learned something this week.
What did you learn?
Poltier shit.
Poltier.
The Cymex eradicator.
Go on.
One's just dark. So we've got Huey, Dewey, and Louie. We've got 3. Terry knows it. Did you ever see the film Silent Running? No, you're a little
I
bit
thought
too.
Dewey and Louie were the three ducklings on Scrooge McDuck or something like that.
Yeah, but on Silent Running, there's three little robots called Huey, Dewey, and Louie. So a nickname because they look a little bit like three Simex eradicators. Well, Dewey and Louie are fucked because one's just won't work, won't switch on at all, and the other one Ryan picked up and he was walking along with it, and the handle just dropped off, and the whole tank just dropped off. So he ended
Right.
up along like a little baby.
Billy McPherson says Hugh looks like he's sat in a Thai spa.
Anything wrong with that?
Is that Alex? Is he coming? Have we got him?
He's in traffic.
In traffic. Nearly there.
Yeah.
Nearly there. In traffic. Nearly there.
I know that.
So
I know
what Polty said.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna give them some shtick maybe next week.
Well, I was at the 1ENV day, and the steamer that they had looked incredibly good. And what it had, which was interesting, was a separate water tank, which meant that you didn't have to wait every time to heat the water tank up. You could the element was separate, and then it went in. I think it was cheaper than the Polity. It was like a suitcase, so you could carry it. I would absolutely 110% have a look at the 1ENV steamer.
Are we thinking though, because they make a big deal about superheated dry steam, don't they? Because the actual hose is heated, isn't it? So I do wonder whether it makes any difference. We ought to get Richard back on and ask him, whether it really makes a lot of difference. That would be a good one to ask. So yeah, maybe we'll get somebody on that knows about Polty and other steamers, because I'm sure that they've tested them.
It's the Karcher. So
Karcher.
So the Simex, the Polty one is £630, and the Karcher one £595.
Yeah. Well, Polty do a bigger one as well. That's like 1,500 quid, don't they?
I don't know. Have a look at this one. I'm just
on wheels.
The what?
On a little trolley. Polty do one on a little trolley as well, don't they?
All right.
It's a bigger one, so you don't need you fill it once. You don't need to keep on filling it. But the problem with even the other Polty, you can't tell how much is in there, can you? Where have you gone? Oh, you've gone there.
Yeah. So this is it here. Karcher Bedbug Steam is a powerful, compact steam cleaner designed for heat and steam work, perfect pest professionals. So in the picture that you're looking at, say on the left-hand side, you can see a little yellow cap that I'm sort of circling around. That's the water bit.
Okay.
Looked like a right good bit of kit. I thought was really good. I won't play the video, but if anyone wants to have a look at it, 1ENV are selling the Karcher version of it.
Anyone watching got one? The new one? The new Karcher? Out of interest? No? No. Well, that's about it for the week for me, actually, to be honest. So just looking, I know that Ian Hull had problems with his Simex Eradicator, and he took it apart and said it was very poorly, but it's a bit like, what was that Fiat? Fix it again, Tony. Sort of style, isn't it? All the Italian sort of stuff. It's certainly not a Lamborghini anyway. I have a wallpaper steamer.
Yeah. I tell you what, I have learned that I know you don't like talking about them, but I think Asian Hornets are going to become a big thing. But I feel like the sleeping problem that we are going to have, without a shadow of a doubt, is going to be bed bugs. Like, I know we're catching on to them and we're good at them and all that, but I feel like they're going to become proper big news. At the minute, it's just people who have went on holiday, or the immigrants, isn't it? That's the only people who seem to have them. I feel like they're going to become a lot more mainstream. I feel like they're going to be picking them up off buses and tubes and trains and all that sort of stuff. I feel like that's going to happen. I know people are going to go, it's happening already, and I know it is, but I feel like it's going to become more and more commonplace across the country rather than just your Birmingham and your Londons and them sort of places.
We're finding that quite a lot of not others, shall we say, are just going in and spraying pyrethroid insecticides. There's nothing else. And as we've had enough people on now to say, you could, unless you're using the right chemicals, they just well be swimming in it. So a lot of people, nearly everyone that we've done recently, the other companies have been in and just sprayed whatever is going on. Sorry, anyone struggling with fuel yet? Not yet, not quite. You lot struggling for fuel up there?
I took the decision last weekend that we would go out and fill the vans up, and that if the vans got anywhere near half full, we'd top them up. So we've been all right. Price of fuel is fucking eye-watering. Like eye-watering, but then, yeah.
Tis what it is. What can you do?
Yeah, we can get it, but there's times when I speak to people and they'll say, "Oh, I've been to 3 and 4 garages and I couldn't get it," and all that sort of jazz. So just taking on the
end of April. End of
Yeah.
April, beginning of May is really when it's going to bite. I've been following. Yeah. Cymex fill too much and it spits out. Yeah, it does. Comes out the top.
Yeah, I think you're going to get over that with a car check. It's a separate water tank and it's just pushing it through, pushing it over the element and kicking it out. So might be worthwhile having a look at that if anyone wants to.
Right. Cool. We'll have a look at both of those and the Dupre.
Yeah.
Francois Dupre. Right.
Let's tell you what, let's start. So go on then, Hugh.
Good customer, bad customer tonight. I'm sure that we've absolutely all had at least one, or not more than one of both in the times gone by. So I've got a nice little list here of what AI thinks is a good customer and a bad customer. So
if Alex doesn't come on,
yeah,
I think what I'm going to do, no, he's coming on. I was going to say, even if Alex does come on, I think this evening I'm probably going to play a devil's advocate and I'm going to pretend that
you're not going to be the prick, are you?
Yeah, I'm going to be the shitbag customer, and I'm going to ask you some difficult questions about why it is the way it is, and see if you can explain fully.
So everybody in the comments, if you could just quickly, before we make a decision, shall we go bad customer first or good customer first? Who wants to do good? Who wants to do bad? Quickly, you got 10 seconds to have a quick poll. While Alex is fuddling about, quick, is it good or bad? Otherwise, I'll choose. Nobody's asking. Right, that's it. Right, Alex, which do you want to do? Left hand? Oh, no, left hand or right hand?
Let's go right hand.
Bad. We've got more bads than goods. Yeah, I've got a lot more bads than goods.
Yeah.
As
Misery
it
loves
happens,
company, doesn't it? Misery loves company.
I honestly didn't know what that was. That was so bad. As everyone, I am so sorry for being late. But the queues going out of the petrol garages at the moment are insane. I was literally just like, has anyone else found this? Like, everyone's panicking about fuel, like mental.
It's going to get worse.
Oh God.
So we have got bad customer. It was bad customer, everybody.
Good. Okay.
So first of all, and these are just the. Oh, I'm echoing. These are just AI produced bad customers. So the first one is the just one mouse customer. You know the one. So the phone goes, bing, 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 bing. Hi, mate. Yeah, I got something running around. It's only one. It's only one. I've only seen one, and it's only a mouse. It's only a mouse. There's only one. I've only seen one, so it's just a small job, really. How much is that going to cost me? So it's always one, isn't it? And then you get there, and there's mouse shit everywhere.
I remember a time. Where's Lex? Has he went off?
I think he's doing his sound, I think.
I remember a time when I read a post and it did make us giggle, because what they said was, they said, oh, in the post wrote, I rang up pest control to get a mouse removed from your house, and he told it was 450 quid. And I said, fucking hell, it's not a tiger, it's a mouse. And it does. You think, like, are they wrong to think that removing one mouse from the house should be a simple job?
The thing is, you see it a lot on Facebook as well, posts and everything, when the customer dictates what the job is, don't they? You see it quite a bit. Oh, I've only got a small job. And you know immediately, as soon as they say, I've only got a small job, you know, it's only a patio slab that I want put down. It's only a small job. What they're inferring is they don't actually want to pay very much. And they dictate and they think, oh, well, it's half an hour's work at most. You know, and they sort of work out that that's how much it's going to cost. It's only half an hour. So it's only going to cost 15 quid. And that's what they're trying to downplay, aren't they? You know, it's a bit like saying, go on.
Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, it's a bit like taking your car in and going, oh, it's only one cog on the clutch, isn't it? You know, I only need one cog repaired on my clutch.
But does this not bring us to what customers think we do? Because I would imagine that there are, don't get us wrong, there's clearly customers out there who don't want to part with the cash, and absolutely do that without a shadow of a doubt, you know. However, I bet you there's customers out there who think that our job as pest control is like doing high value, like, you know, crazy chemicals, dealing with these poisons where you've got to get suited and booted and and probably think that this job is maybe very, very simple and easily solved, because they'll probably think that what we do is quite complex. So they go, it's just one mouse.
It's just, yeah.
Yeah. The other thing as well is we never do a very good job, or we haven't done a very good job previously of having the wider public understand what it is we actually do. Because how many customers ring up and expect you to go down and just get rid of everything there and then? And you just come and remove this mouse, it's in the kitchen, and I want you to go down and like they think you've got some sort of special equipment or skills or whatever it is to go like, there it is, catch it, put it in, you know, one rat, exactly, yeah. And they probably think, the vast majority of people probably think, if I'm calling you out for a rat or a mouse job, that actually it's like fixing your car. You take it in, you diagnose, and it's a water pump. You change a water pump, you're in and out, and the job's solved. Like, how do we as an industry get people to understand that there are numerous visits in a process that we have to go through? Are they bad customers, or are we bad salesmen?
Bad communication.
Alex,
go on.
I know I'm saying, I know exactly, you know, what it is. It's because it is one of those things that nobody wants to talk about. It is, you know, society's undergarment, so to speak. Nobody wants to talk about pests, so nobody wants to necessarily sort of like look into it. You go on ChatGPT and you see some of the rubbish that you see put on there and the rest of it. And I think one of the best Twitter posts I ever saw was a guy being like, oh, I've got a mouse in the house, and some guy tried to charge me, I think it was like £300 to get rid of the mouse. I mean, for fuck's sake. And the exact line that sticks with me was, it's not a fucking Bengal tiger. Which, and that's kind of it, isn't it? Like, people don't kind of understand what it is that we have to do. And more importantly, they don't know what good looks like. So when it comes to value is, you know, the only way that they can ascribe to value is based on cost. This is good because I have spent money on it, or this is good because I got a good deal on it. They have no idea what good looks like. And again, that's down to us as an industry to better communicate that out to people. And we are trying in some quarters to make that happen, but it's still really slow going, and it's very difficult because people only look for it. It's a, as much as we want to talk about prevention and proactiveness and all of these other things, it is a crisis industry. People only need us when they need us.
There will also,
Here's an interesting
always,
thing. Does the sale of amateur rodenticides make it almost impossible for us to fully communicate what it is we do? Because if you can go to B&Q and buy some poison and put it down and forget about it, you know, chuck some poison in the loft, the noise went away, job done. Why do I have to go 3 times if he can do it in one?
You could make the argument for that, that hammers have made carpenters obsolete. That, you know, being able to go online onto Amazon and buy the Bosch professional range of impact hammers and screwdrivers has made, you know, any kind of building or construction functionally useless. But it hasn't, though, has it? Because the tools aren't what make us a professional. It is our professionalism and our knowledge and our ability to solve problems that makes us a pest manager, not
I
the access to poison.
I get that. I get that, and I agree with you 100%. But I'm going to play devil's advocate, and I'm going to say,
go for it.
Imagine you've had nothing to do with pest control ever. You went into doing, I don't know, you're a car mechanic, right? Yeah, you're a teacher, and you're sitting at home and you see a mouse in your kitchen. You've never looked under your kitchen unit, so you don't know. And you know that you're a handy person, so you think, well, I can go down B&Q, I can get some poison, but actually I'll get a pest controller to do it just to make sure. Like, how do we not expect them to not understand what it is that we do from that? And is it not fair for them to think initially, like, wow, like, that's expensive? Like, that is expensive.
Okay, take this out of context because, of course, we're all thinking pest controllers and it's skewing our opinion. Sparks, for example. So theoretically, I should have called a Sparky 2. So weirdly enough, so actually this is in 2 parts. So this little office that I've got in my garden here, I have a little consumer unit on the side there, which is attached to my consumer unit out there. And I did pay a Sparky to do that. I got him to come in. He paid. We, you know, I say we quibbled over the price. We didn't really. He said it was this much, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to get blown to smithereens. You do it. However, in the house, I have rewired plug sockets. So my house, if anyone's ever been to it, it's a smart house. You can sit there, you can talk to it. It turns the lights on, it turns them off, it chatters back to you. Fucking brilliant. But I changed.
Who needs a girlfriend?
I've got a house that talks to me, mate. It puts the kettle on when I want it to. Like,
I'm getting 2 plugs and she's gone. One upstairs, one downstairs. Fuck her off.
Dickhead. Right. Basically, though, I did that in my house. I think the point I'm getting to here is it's all about severity and it's all about consequence. Both of those instances, I should have theoretically called a electrician in to do those things. However, the little job with the little risk, with the little severity, I was more inclined to do myself. The bigger job with the bigger risk and the bigger severity for things to go wrong, definitely wanted to call in a professional. So to flip this on its head, if I've got a mouse in my kitchen, to me, visibility wise, that is a little problem that I can deal with a little solution. And why should I have to sort of like go big guns? If I've got 30 rats kicking about in the garden, I'm probably at that point going to think, right, this is beyond me. I don't know what to do now. Obviously, what I have done is wrong, and now I am going to turn to a professional to get things sorted. So I think it's all about scope. It's all about the severity of the situation. It would be my way of looking at that. That makes sense?
I think you're always going to get the, you know, how much just to put some poison down, but then it's up to you from there onwards, perhaps, to.
Right. So I've got a really good. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, Hugh, but I fucking did. So I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. But before I forget, like we get that all the time, and it's we always say, yeah, but
you get the Trump hat for interruption.
Yeah, okay. Put the dunce hat on. But we say yes, but all the time. You know, this is expensive. Yeah, but, but when you say but, it instantly creates a gap between you and the client, and it means that you're already putting yourselves on different sides. But I am disagreeing with you. But if you just turn around and they say, "Oh God, it's that much," and you say, "Yes," and let me tell you what you're getting for that money, and you make that part, it's a really subtle change, but it actually brings their concerns on board with you. You're acknowledging them, you're bringing them forwards. Yes, and let me, talk you through the bill so we can understand it together, as opposed to yes, but, but puts a barrier between the pair of you and it puts people's backs up. So that'd be my one bit of advice for that.
Well,
Sorry, I
actually,
got
it
excited.
sort of leads on to the next one that it says, actually, in our list. It's got the DIY disaster customer. He's already tried. Why is it all? Oh, it's automatically thought it's a he. He has already tried and used multiple products incorrectly, making control more difficult. So we've gone from the just one mouse customer, and we've slid over to the DIY customer. But Sean's already covered the amateur use bit a bit. Maybe do you think?
I think the DIY customer isn't a bad customer, because he either has a go and fixes it himself and he doesn't need you. Great, knock yourself out. He might have done in-depth AI searching and he might have got to the solution for it. He might have just had a field mouse problem and bought some traps and got them killed, and great, and he doesn't need you. And that's super, in it. But he also can be a good customer in the, I actually do need you. I've tried. I've proper tried, and now I'm in that pain period, and I've put poison in the loft 3 times now, and they're still there, and I've got one in the kitchen now, and I really, really need you. Yeah.
Going back to Jasmine's comment about her husband and the mole trap, do you think that's the hunter-gatherer part of it? The bloke sort of, because quite often get ladies on the phone that have turned around and said, I fucking told him to get somebody in, but he won't have it because he's like, I can do it. I'm not paying somebody 300 quid to come in and do something that I can do. Yeah. I'll go down to DIY shop and I'll get some raid and I'll kill the wasp nest or whatever. That's the, is that the protector, the hunter gatherer? I'll show my woman that I can do it, or vice versa. So quite often get those, mind. And then you get there and he's scowling from behind the back of the shed, looking at you like this. And she's like, hello, welcome in, come in. And he's like, anyway.
He might just be a bit of a slag, and she might have been booking some tradesmen previously, and he might be absolutely gutted at having someone else around the house being a real man. Do you know what I mean? He might be thinking, oh, no.
Oh, not another one.
Pest control as a game.
Not another.
I tell you what, though, just quickly going back, Pest King makes a good point. How do you deal with this? Mouse traps for rats, and they've just made them a total nightmare to deal with. And you're like, well, it was 3 visits till you braided on the head with a mouse trap. And now you've made me like a living misery. Or you get there, it's like, I've blocked up the holes, and there's like tins and tins of expanding foam, and you're like, total nightmare now. We've had them where they've actually proofed a hole brilliantly into the back of the kitchen. It was a ground floor flat, and they could hear them in the walls. And I was like, the only problem is now, very difficult to deal with it, like incredibly difficult. We've got to do something else. So it was just horrific. Do you charge them more?
There's arguments for the buggerance factor there, but if you're going to have to do extra work, if you're going to have to set right what they've done, I don't know. The thing is, if you hide it in there, then that's, I would say, unethical, unmoral. If you're just like, I'm going to hide it. But if you sort of like, if you're very upfront about it and say, look, we can go one of 2 ways here, which is I can carry on despite what you've done and leave what it is in place, and the treatment may take twice as long, so I'm going to be here twice as often. Or we can do this one day where I'm going to basically set right what you've got wrong, and it'll be a bit more upfront. But there we go. It's a roll of the dice. It's a hard one to negotiate. And the thing is, people are not going to want to admit that what they have done previously may have been,
incorrect.
the reason that they have not got any kind of traction with this.
The next one, go on.
Go on. No, I was going to say the only problem with that is, we say extra work, extra money. One, you don't always know till you get there, do you? But two, and I don't care what anyone says, this goes through your head. You think, I know that the other pest controllers in my area will do that as a standard job. They'll just deal with it. Part of it sometimes is just dealing with it, isn't it? Like pulling out that expanding foam and, redoing their work. And sometimes I've never charged anyone extra. I usually just take the piss out of them. Like, I don't.
It's emotional charging then. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like that. Like, who done this? And she's like, your husband. And I'm like, he's got that wrong, hasn't he? You've got that wrong, haven't you, pal? And I think that'll hurt you. That'll
sting. That'll make you smart a bit.
Don't worry, pal. We'll sort this out for you.
And he's of course definitely going to call you back when there's an issue next time, isn't he? Of course,
Yeah. Fuck him, he's a knob anyways.
Let's face it. Everybody listening, or certainly they're going. If you haven't done it before, everybody listening seen the prick with the expanding foam for the wasp nest. Everybody. It's like, we blocked out with the expanding foam. Right, okay, fuck off. I'm not going to come then. I'm just put the phone down. It's like, no, not interested. No, want to be a dick. Off you go. Trot on.
Right. Hang on, just for 2 seconds. Keep talking about this because I want to just do something. I'm going to go to my handy dandy.
Here we go.
Next one.
The blame shifter. Oh. It's the neighbor.
I'm going to start with this one because you are going to love it. It wasn't me. It was a good friend of mine. Hang on a second. Fucked on, haven't I? It was a friend of mine, and he was dealing with a rat job in a house. I think it was two drug dealers who lived side by side, and one was the stereotypical drug dealer house was an absolute shithole, and the other one was drug dealer house was pristine and lived like palatial.
OCD druggy.
Yeah, you if you've never been a cop, you won't know, but some of them are like, they've got money and they just spend it, and then other ones are just rat bags, aren't they? So they have a rat problem between these two semi-detached houses, and they start going off it at each other, kicking off and falling out and blah blah blah. And the one in the really nice house, who's a little bit more of a high-value drug dealer, starts saying, "Scruffy fucker's giving us rats. I'm sick of them. I'm sick of them." It accumulates in a massive punch up, and he actually sets fire to the bloke's house and burns the house down, or part of the house down. Ends up in a court case and and the council involved. My pal went in to solve it, and it was actually the palatial drug dealer who was causing it. He'd had an extension put on the back of his house, had the drains altered. He was the cause of the problem, had kicked off terribly and burned his neighbour's house down in the brook. Yeah.
Oh, that's a classic one, that one. Yeah, that's a classic one. There's a stream. Yeah. There's a stream down the end of the garden. There's a railway line. The next door neighbour's garden's overgrown.
Yeah.
The house building work.
37 mile away are building a new estate and have disturbed them.
I think
we've not had a single rat for years until they did the building. And you lift the loft hatch off, and the stench of the rats comes down, hits you in the face full on. It's like, really?
We had one. Me and Alice were talking about it the other day. Being brought in on an enforcement job, and woman and her husband lived there. They were old, and the kids had been there, and they were stood talking. They were saying, "Seen the state of them gardens next door with the dogs, and we had the decking up and everything." I was like, "You can see where they're coming out next to your soil vent pipe. Your drains are gushed. We had to fix them." She's like, "I know, yeah. And they're definitely giving us rats, aren't they?" No, listen carefully. Your drains are broken because you've done this. You're giving them rats. All right, yeah. And it's a state of their garden that's attracting them. Yeah, just pay the bill. Just pay the bill.
Go on, Alex.
It's a farm or a pub next. Yeah, the farm. Yeah, they're classic.
No, I was about to say, it's because nobody wants to own the rats. I think, again, nobody wants to take responsibility or accountability. But if your boiler goes, it's your boiler and it's broken, and you kind of like understand that. And if your lights go out in your house, it's because it's your fuse board. It's part of your house. It's something that you bought and physically owned. It is your property that's fucked up. If you get rats under your decking or in your attic, you don't own them. I mean, technically you do. You've created an environment where they are there and you own them. It is your responsibility, but you do not feel accountable for them or responsible for them. So you want to assign responsibility to them, and that responsibility is easier ascribed to the neighbors or to something at the end of the garden or to something like that. It's an ownership thing. People don't want to own rats, so it's easier for them to give them to someone else.
I tell you the one I do like though. You like this one, Hugh? Honeybees, where they end up with honeybees in the chimney, and they're like, the bloke 4 doors down in his garden, he's got bees in his garden. They're like, have you? Yeah. And you can see them because it's bees. They don't want to say anything bad, do they? They're like, do you think it's anything to do with the bees? Well, have you ever had bees in your chimney before? No. When did you get the bees? Start the summer. How far into it? Halfway through the summer, the bees in your chimney. Yeah. Probably a lack of swarm control from Bob 4 doors down, isn't it?
Yeah. Who only started keeping bees during COVID.
Yeah. What we're going to do now? Well, we've got to get them taken out. It's going to cost you a fortune. Like, how do you approach that with Bob, who's like desperate for some local honey to help with his hay fever?
I think those have done the non-listener and the blame shifter. Those twos are done. Now we've got this one. You don't tend to get this one too much with private customers, but the access nightmare person. When you make an appointment, we particularly get it with tenants. You make the appointment, you text them, I'll be there tomorrow. You get there, you're banging on the door. They've gone out. They're not there. They don't give a shit, do they? They're not paying for it. It's like, oh. And the other access nightmare one is when you've done the treatment and then you need to do the follow-up. And because the problem's gone, it's like, can you come Saturday? Well, you had us on Monday morning at 9 o'clock 2 weeks ago. And now no. You Saturday now. Oh, after 6 o'clock on Friday afternoon? No. Do you get that?
Yeah. We tend to get it on the initial phone call. And I do feel for them a bit. As I'll say, I work. I'm only available from 5:30 of an evening or a weekend. Like, is it not fair of the customer to expect us to provide that service?
I would say yes. I would, you got to think about it. If the person's not in, then yeah,
take a day off.
Take a day off. Okay.
If your washing machine's broken, would you expect them to come out of hours like that?
I would have said beforehand, but to go back to a comment made earlier, which was in this economy, ? In this thing. I think actually the cost of living screwing everyone down. People are not wanting to spend money as it is, having to take a day off work, having to sort of like potentially face not being paid, especially if people on shift work. It's not a case of, you're so many people on 0 hours contracts. You're not taking a holiday day at that point. You're not getting paid for it just because you're not there. You can't work from home. You're literally not making any money. So it's costing you twice. So yeah, I actually think there should be some flexibility.
What? Yeah, I agree. Sorry, go on.
Bet they take the morning off their Sky dish went down.
So this raises the point, doesn't it? I think Alex is right. I think we should maybe providing out of hours
Fuck off.
service. But every time, what we've found in the practicalities of it is they'll say, can you do evenings or weekends? And I say, absolutely, that's fine. Yeah, the lads work from 8 till 4. We can book it in for an evening or a weekend, but we do charge for out of hours work. And then they'll go, oh no, it's fine. Now I can get the day off. The people who couldn't, all of a sudden, when they had to pay an extra 30 quid, can absolutely find the time. But then I think to myself, how many other jobs other than pest control would you think that you would be happy, or you would insist that they came out of hours for the same money?
I would say most people would expect most jobs to be like that, because that's just the way that people work. I mean, we're sitting there thinking it's unreasonable, I don't like it, but
Yeah.
I think the reality of it is in this day and age, it's the Amazon Prime effect, isn't it? I have Amazon. I get angry when Amazon's, when I have to wait 3 to 5 days for my Amazon to turn up. Like, what the fuck? Like, how privileged is that? That's absolutely ridiculous. But at the same time, I pay for Amazon Prime. They should turn up the next day. All of this stuff. 3 to 5 days is not unreasonable. So again, I think we live in a consumer economy where actually getting things immediately or the next day or at your convenience is the norm. And I think that it's the internet age, man. It's a radical shift in how we do things.
Jason's just put something on there. Just to clarify something. Jason said £30. I mean, that's on top of. So if we're doing a 70 quid visit and you want us to come at 5:30, it turns it into a 100 quid visit. And then they're like, nah. And this is the Uberification, isn't it, of pest control. Can you get there out of hours? But I remember, and someone might say it, there was a guy a year or so ago, he put a thing on Facebook saying, I'm going to start a business for out of hours pest control.
Mm-hmm. Was that night shift? That wasn't night shift. Did night shift pest control? Or they just called night shift?
No, I'm fairly certain their original business model in London was that they worked at night, so they were accessing like public areas that would not allow them access in the 9 to 5, and so they set up a company that would operate 5 to 9 around those.
Sorry, I butted in there.
There was a guy though, wasn't he? And he said basically, I'm going to set up a website. It's going to be called Out Hours Pest Control. We'll market it across the country. And if you want to be a supplier, we'll take the calls, we'll send it to you, and we'll make a markup on da. And Norman Smith came up with the best succinct way of putting it across. And he said, we've tried it and we just don't find there's an appetite for out of hours work with pest control. And it might be our area or not, but that's exactly what we find. And the other thing with our job is, and this is why I think we don't get many out of hours calls. If your boiler's broke or there's water coming through your ceiling or your electrics around, you need someone there to fix it, don't you? Mm-hmm. But what is someone going to do at 9 o'clock at night on a Monday for a rat treatment that's not going to do exactly the same thing at 9 o'clock the next morning? Like, that's what we explain them. We just say you can pay extra, but it's going to make no difference. It's a 3-week process anyway, so you're only speeding it up by several hours. It doesn't make sense for you to pay 100 odd quid or whatever it is.
But the point being is the flexibility of, oh God, who am I echoing with? It can't be me. Right. So the point being that you make that offer. You've made that offer, and then the customer has responded to it positively. But you're saying they're not taking you up on it. But the fact that you're able to make that offer means that actually they are much more likely to engage with you and take the services on and follow it through. So at that point, you say it's the Uberification. Just show that you're willing. You don't have, 3 out of 10 may go ahead with it, but yeah.
Alex, we'd be lucky if we get 1 in 100, 1 in 200 who accept it. It's weird.
That's the problem, though, isn't it? Because you can't. The problem is when you're running a business, you can't have somebody on standby to work those evenings or those weekends unless you can regularly fill those slots. And then to turn around to say to an employee, you've worked all day till 5 o'clock, but oh dear, you need to go out now at 7 o'clock tonight and go and do an hour and a half job. It's like, it's not going to happen. You can't do both. You've got to do either one or the other. You're pulling yourself too thin if you just say, yeah, I'm on standby all the time. I think, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. I'll tell you the other thing from it, and I don't know what the law is on this, but prospective employers, if you're going to go that way, when you do work for British Rail, you have to have a timesheet for your lads. They'll take over the track at night, and you have to have a timesheet. You have to be able to prove that them lads have not been working. You know, you have to prove that they are fit and ready and strong to go. And I always think to myself, different when it's you as the business owner in it. But if you've got a lad who's done 8 to 4, job comes in at 10 o'clock, he goes from 10 till 12. By the time he gets home, it's 12:30, 1 o'clock. He's up at 7 and he has a crash. Like, I stand there and think, I've put everything on the line for you. You probably knew about the problem 3 weeks previously, done nothing with it, but now it's in your kitchen, so it's an urgency. You know, you could have solved it, and the pressure is put on you as the business owner. But like, imagine if your lad turned around and went, I fell asleep at the wheel, I've had a crash, and it was your fault. Like, so I just think, like, for me, we just try and we do. We try and talk people out of it and try to get them to book in for the morning, but 99% of them don't. You know, 99% of them, if you can't solve it there and then, they'll probably go, them types of customers, or what we find is those types of customers, if you can't go there and then for that visit, they'll probably go to B&Q and get some poison themselves in the morning. It is definitely a crisis thing.
That brings us on to the urgency merchant, doesn't it?
Oh,
you know, it's like, you've got to come now. My son's allergic to wasps and there's a wasp nest. You've got to come now. I want you today. Yeah. And you're like, well, if you can't do it, I will get somebody that will.
Yeah.
Crack on,
okay.
Yeah.
Or it's Friday night. It's Friday, 3 o'clock. And it's like, oh, we've got a rat running around. Right. Oh, okay. Well, you get out there and you say, how long have you had this rat running around? We saw it Monday morning, but I thought
we didn't want to leave it over the weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. My missus wife's had enough. She just said, you can't leave it any longer. You can't leave it any longer. 3 o'clock Friday. Can you get here tonight?
Yeah.
But do you think we buckle too easily sometimes and go, oh yeah, we'll shuffle that round and we'll shuffle this round, or what happens when you just turn around and say, yeah, we'll be there Monday? Devil's advocate.
So I don't know. I'll put my two pence in here from another side. So number one, I was just thinking about this. This is back to the Amazon Prime like scenario, isn't it? Where we live in a world where if you want something, you can get it now. I fancy a Chinese tonight. Don't have to go down Tesco's anymore, buy my 5 spice and do the rest of it. I can just simply phone the Chinese and delivery will get it to my house in about 35 minutes. I need something from B&Q, from Screwfix, from wherever it is. I can go online, I can order it, it'll be in my house tomorrow. I don't even have to go to the shops anymore. So with that, consumers are much more prone to wanting something now, the big red button. But on the flip side of this, there is this thing called like the urgency principle, which works on us as providers, and it's a couple of things. It works on loss aversion, and urgency especially is laden with emotion, and so it starts to peak your emotional responses to that as well. So you're less likely to make a good decision because you have that fear of missing out. This is a limited time offer only. If I don't take it now, they're going to go somewhere else and I need this money. Do you actually? No, you fear the loss of that. It's a loss aversion, and you start to think in terms of failure as opposed to in terms of business.
Do you remember when Andy was talking about the money kiosk? Andy Snefsky was talking about the money kiosk, and you've got all this money blowing up in the air, but you've got to just keep thinking about your commercial customers, because that's what the direction that he wanted to go into. Same as the summer wasp nests, and you see all this money, all this urgency, and think that you've got to go and do it all the time. You've got to go and do it all the time, because let's face it, most business owners have remember the time when we were all scrabbling around for, get a phone and call at 12 o'clock. I've got ants in the middle of the night, and you'd be, yeah, I'll be there. I'm your man. So it's hard to get that mindset back again, that, your regular customers who are more important possibly, or maybe, don't know, depends how you are, than somebody just phoning up on a Friday and saying, can you get here a little bit, 6 o'clock tonight?
Yeah. I think, absolutely. And it's our fault. And I think the other thing this goes back to, which is the comment that was made earlier, which is we're in a recession. The money's talking, and people want results straight away. But more importantly, we as business people, you see every lost opportunity as, or every potential lost opportunity as an issue, because we're all struggling for money. Let's be fair. None of us are.
And that was going back to something Pete said, wasn't it? A couple of weeks ago, he said every time what he found when people phoned up, they want to know two things: how much, how quick.
Yeah. And again, that's the Uberification, which is where am I going to go, and how much is it going to cost me, and when you're going to be here to pick me up. They're the big things.
But do you think, on the same hand, do you think that possibly is? Do you think that it's a fault in your website that you're not laying it out to them, their expectations, or do you actually think that people don't even bother to look at the website? They just see your telephone number on Google Places and just bang it out. What do you reckon, Sean?
I'm thinking of something totally separate. So 2 questions for you. Sorry, split it. Imagine you'd never done pest control. You'd never, ever, ever done pest control. You had no knowledge of pest control. And you had 2 problems. You had a rat running around in your loft, and you had a wasp nest. What would you expect? And would you be understanding to them on a Saturday morning, ringing up a local business and I'm saying, I'm not coming?
Well, hang on. You're saying that I phoned you up, I've booked you in for Saturday.
No, you haven't. You're just ringing us. So you've got a wasp nest, right? You come out, you go in your garden Saturday morning, you see it, it's in the outhouse or wherever it is, the garden shed, and you go, I'm going to ring Sean. What would you expect, and what value would you be expecting to pay for me to come out and deal with a wasp nest on the Saturday morning?
I think, again, for me, it goes back to the level of urgency that this is presenting to me. If it was just a wasp nest in the eaves of the building, not a problem. If I was having a picnic that weekend, then again, my prior preparation is not your problem.
Or
but
a party.
I am going to make it. Yes, and a party, a picnic or a party, or
your advert.
Barbecue.
We can go ahead with the party.
Now our party can go ahead. Oh God, I almost got through one episode without that. But yeah, then the urgency increases. If it's bust through the roof of my house and I've got wasps flying around inside, then the urgency increases yet again, and so therefore my urgency and my emotional investment in it increases also.
Would you expect to pay more if the pest controller understood your urgency as linked to the value of the job?
Me personally, no, because I'm very pragmatic. I would see it in such a way that it wouldn't be the urgency, the emotional attachment of the job that was causing it to be more. It was the fact that I was asking for something outside, off menu, so to speak, to do that. So I would pay more.
Terry
Ashley, go into the dunce room and stand in the corner.
Yeah. If I tell Ian Bright, Terry Ashley has said, charge for the rats, do the wasps for free if it's an easy one. I'm going to tell Ian Bright what you've said there. And if he doesn't whip you with a bamboo stick, we're going to have words.
Off to the dunce room. Off to the dunce room.
Like, we look at it through pest control and business people and and technicians' eyes, but from a customer's eyes, it's totally different in it. Like, and I'm going to be 100% honest with you. If I rang someone up on a Saturday morning and said, will you come out and do my wasp nest? And he said, I'll get you 10 o'clock on Tuesday. I would just think, he's not interested, doesn't care, not bothered. I wouldn't think, oh, he's probably got lads working from Monday to Friday, 8 to 4. It's probably the first thing. He's probably going to have to charge us more. I wouldn't have thought like that before I run my business. Like,
yeah,
is it acceptable for them to think that we're being a bit of a pretentious? Because we've all dealt with pretentious tradesmen, haven't we? Where he's exactly like we are, like, and it fucking annoys you, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I suppose that just depends on how you actually deal with that, isn't there? You know, you can say to them, look, I'm really sorry, but you know, it's a nice sunny weekend, and I'm afraid we haven't got anybody on. You know, we haven't got anybody on call out this weekend because they've all gone to the beach. Yeah, they've all gone to the beach. They got kids.
Live with your wasps. Yeah, live with your wasps, mate. I'm off for a lemon top. Suck you. I don't care.
I'm 3 Fosters deep at the moment. I can't get in the van at all.
Yeah,
really sorry.
I'm hammered. But no, you're right, because you know, let's face it. Go back to the electrician thing. Your house is stripped out. You can't turn the kettle on. You can't put the TV on. You can't put the internet on. You know, and you phone the electrician up, and he says, "Well, yeah, I'm sorry, really sorry, but you know, it is the weekend. It's going to be £100 extra." Yeah,
right.
Okay. You know, I'll be there in 20 minutes, but it's going to be double the normal charge. Well, how much is it going to be then? I don't know, 220 quid.
Yeah, so
whatever.
Exactly. So that's the urgency thing, isn't it? And again, you're ordering off menu. I want you to do something different, and that's it. So, but 2 good comments I want to read out here, which is Rupert says, if anyone needs a vet out of hours, and anyone who's had a pet who has ever had to use an out-of-hour vet, know that you are paying double, triple, because that's someone coming back in. You know, that's someone coming back in to open up the vet surgery and get you there and the rest of it. And you only ever phone when there's an emergency, but you do it, don't you? Like, if your dog's unwell, you don't be like, right, buckle up, puppy. We're going to see whether or not this is going to be Monday that you make it through to. All right, okay. Again, though, this is okay. I wouldn't, but still, I mean, there's different. So definitely there is precedent in society, and we do know and understand it. And then to follow on from that, Darren says, at what stage do we become busy fools if a customer calls up on a Saturday, Sunday, expecting you to attend, but that's the only job you have that weekend? Do you take the call? Is it worth it? But is it worth dropping into your personal time just for a single job? I would argue, if you are a service industry and a crisis industry, is it their fault for having a crisis on the weekend, or is it our fault for conforming to a standard 9 to 5, 5 to 7 working life, and not better scheduling or flexing our routines to maximize this thing? Just for example, I mean, what happens if you took your Saturday on a Wednesday instead?
Somebody can on the fucking Wednesday, wouldn't they?
Yeah, but I'm playing devil's advocate here. But like,
Yeah.
what if you do something different? You know, you have a team. There's you and somewhere else. They do Saturday, Sunday, but they take Monday, Tuesday off, and then you work Monday to Friday. That way, you're covered all the days of the week, and you don't have this issue, and nobody has to sacrifice personal time then.
Quick, another one.
Right.
Got to go on to another one because we're going to run out of space to talk about the good one. The last minute canceller.
I've had one today. I booked him in for Monday to do a load of work. It was worthwhile going on a Monday because I actually bank holiday like any other day, right or wrong, I do. He wanted 3 liners put in, and he's just cancelled there. Hang on with that. And I should have known, but because it's a bank holiday Monday, I think, great, I've got bank holiday Monday off now. So
the ones that I hate are the ones when you get there and they go, especially with wasp nests, it's been done, mate. You what? It's been done. I called 3 companies, and whoever got here first got the job.
Bricks, yeah.
That really does get me. Right. What do you think about the price shopper?
I think fair enough. I don't
Do you think that
don't see a problem with that.
Do you think it matters how it's dealt with? Do you think it annoys you when somebody says, "What's your best price?" How'd you take that? What's your best price, mate?
I'm not sure if Sean has frozen or if he is really deep in thought. I think he's frozen.
I think he's short frozen.
Yeah, he's gone. I don't see a problem with people making an informed decision based on price. And with that, I don't. It's how you deal with it. It's back to the yes but not yes and scenario, isn't it? If someone phones up and says how much, and you say it's going to be this much, they're like, oh right, well I'll just sort of like shop around. Well, it gives you the opportunity to then sort of like again upsell on value, and so we can. You can prove your worth. If you just say it's £100, click, and they phone back 5 minutes later, then that's one thing. I don't know. I don't see a problem with making an informed decision around cost, and that's down to you to inform them the value of your cost at that point. But that is my opinion, and mostly because I'm justifying myself because I do phone around on cost when I have to buy things as well.
I must admit, I know it shouldn't, but it does get my back up when somebody says, "What's your best price?" That really does grate my gears. That really does, because I just feel like turning around and saying, "That is the fucking best price." But of course you don't. Certainly if it's a lady, you don't mansplain it. But there you go. Back to that one. But no, that does wind me up. You know, I don't mind a bit of bartering. They ain't going to get anything off, but I don't mind. You know, it's just as long as it's done respectfully. What do you reckon, Sean?
I just say, no, it is what it is. We don't cut corners. If you want the corners cut, we could do it, but there's probably someone out there who cuts corners every day, and they'll be better at cutting corners than we will. Like, that's my standard response. Like, if price is your determining factor, you're going to find someone cheaper. There's always someone willing to work for something cheaper. Just be mindful.
And for cash? How much for cash? How much for cash?
So I have an alternative to this, which is, of course, someone phones up. So let's say you go into a car dealership, and you say, "Hey, I want to buy this Skoda Fabia." Is that Alex's codpiece?
Alex's codpiece hanging in the car. I don't know.
No, it's my mask. It's my dust mask. Like,
what was the song? Word Up, wasn't it? Word Up. What the word? When he used to wear a bright red codpiece.
Right. Back to my point. Jesus wept. Like, I can't completely forgotten what it is now.
Jason's fault. Jason's fault.
Is it Jason's fault?
Yeah, of course it is.
Right. So you walk into a car dealership. I want the car. I want the Skoda Fabia, right? Can you do me a best price? Can you do me a best price? Blah, 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 blah. And of course they can't. They've got to sell the car for the sticker price, you know, or they've got, you know, a little bit of wiggle room, but it's all very much scripted and prescribed. But what they do every time, you know what we can do, mate? What we can do is we can offer you we can extend the warranty from 1 year to 5 years. We can do this, we can do that, we can add extra. I'm going to give you a whole box full of chamois to keep your car clean. And you walk away from that thinking, fuck yes, I've managed to buy a car and I've got this additional extra and I've got this sort of like additional extra, and I managed to negotiate out of them that I've actually got sort of like they've upgraded the rims from the steelies to the alloys. They haven't actually. And you think you've got one up on the car showmanship or the car dealership. But reality of it is they've just sold you a fucking car and they are happy as Larry. And, you know, you've got sort of like, you've got a box full of sponges that you've made you think that you're a fucking winner. So what's the difference here with pest control? If someone says best price and you say, no, price is the price, mate, why don't you give them the box full of chamois as an additional extra? Find something that is worthless to you, but give it value to them, and then sell that.
Why? I absolutely get it, And I know that the salesman would be screaming out that you are absolutely right. The reason why we don't is because we find that those customers are often the ones that are never happy no matter what. Who want an extra visit for free, who want this, who want that, who like are just never, they are the customers where it's like, you've damaged me loft hatch, you've done whatever, and you're like, no, it was damaged before. Like they are always, I think it's something intrinsic within them that they are value grabbers to the extreme. That's what we find, you know. And I might be wrong, but just experience has taught us over time that if there is anything initially that sets your spidey senses off, that
Tingling.
you will be found out to have been right at the initial thing. Your gut always tells you, you know, always tells you.
I'm not gonna. Sharon says giving a price for a job without seeing a job does not make sense. I've got to say, to be honest, I do that all the time. I'll give a job on the phone. Every rat job, every domestic rat job. We never go and look at it. I talk to them, get a sense of what's going on. I'll give them the price over the phone. We never go and look at domestic jobs.
But that's also because you've been doing this for a while. So if you think about it from the point of view of someone who's just started out, because what you probably do with that is, you know, that the actual cost of the job will range between, and let's just say £80 to £120 per visit. So, you know, if I aim for 100, it means that, okay, I lose out on some of those that I should have charged 120, but I gain on some of those that I should have done 80. And so if I hit somewhere in the middle, even better. If I charge 105, then I know I'm always going to be in a little bit of profit from that. But if you've not been doing this for very long, you don't have that gauge as to what that middle ground is, what my upper and lower confidence levels are. And so you have to sort of like at that point be like, I'm going to have to do it job by job. I don't have that intuitive understanding that this is my range, this is my sweet spot, and that's the acceptable buying point for the client within my sweet spot.
I think you're right. When you first start out, there is a suck it and see, and if you think that every job you do when you start off is going to be profitable, you're living in a dream world. It's whether you can learn to understand that you weren't profitable. Because I know people who have done jobs at their own cost who still think they put money in the pocket, and you're like, you've lost. They're like, no, because I've made 210 quid, and you're like, trust us, you've lost. I know you've lost, and it's not even worth talking to them because they won't have it. And then you find out, however long down the road, that they've gone bust, and you're like, fucking hell, like, could see that coming a mile off. Could see it coming a mile off.
I got to bring up one bad customer before we try to go on to some good customers.
I've got one more bad customer I want to talk to you about.
So I'll give you the quick
just
one.
Do the bad customers tonight and do the good customers next week.
Fuck the good customers. No one cares about them.
Yeah, we don't give a shit about them. So you get the call, don't you? 2 weeks ago, I got the call. Hi there. This is the, local serve big round things that are like crisps. Oh yeah. Oh, it's the local curry house.
Right, poppadoms. Jesus, that took me so long.
Big round things like crisps. I was just, I was trying to be correct, And it's like, okay. What's the issue? Oh no, we haven't got an issue. Oh, okay. But we want a contract. Okay. Why is that then? Because we're new owners and we think we ought to have a contract. And I'm thinking, I've lived in this fucking town for 60 years. I know every owner of every shop in the town. You haven't been the new owner at all. Do you have a problem? No problem whatsoever. Nothing at all. Everything's fine. Oh yeah. Could you give us a price on the phone? I'm like, not really, but it starts at £320 a quarter. Oh, how much? £320 a quarter. It's like, no. Okay, fine. Okay. Next week, Neil goes down because we happen to do a beautifully tidy, clean, spotless fish and chip shop right next door. So he walks down through the alleyway and everything's been turfed out of the kitchen, and there's a freezer in the alleyway, in the porchway, so it's in the dry, and you can see where the rats over the last 2 years have been climbing up the side of the freezer, and I've got a photo of it. It's black, and you can see where they've been sat on the edge of the freezer, and they can see the tail swishes on the freezer, and it's absolutely rank. And so he goes into our customer, and she said, yeah, they had an EHO visit last week. Huh, surprise, surprise. So thankfully, get that so many times when you know. Anyway, what was yours, Sean? Sorry.
That brings us to two. The worst customers is when the EHO has been in, we need something in place, and you go, okay, no bother. And you'll go down, you explain everything in absolute detail. It's going to take 14, 21 days minimum, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Absolutely. Do it. Here's the money. And then they'll go, can we have the paperwork to say we're clear? You're not listening to a word I've said. Like, no, I've paid you on the paperwork. Like, you're not getting it. They're a pig. They're a total pig. But we're good. We're okay with them now. We can deal with them. The other one, which, if you put your customer head on, is absolutely understandable. I've got rats in my garden. So you go out and say, Sheila next door and James on the other side and Susan across the way out the back. They're happy for you to put stuff in their gardens as well.
Yeah,
oh, I'm just getting ready to do a treatment. I just want a standard treatment, and we're making your life easier because to get rid of this problem for me, because we're going to let you treat all the gardens around here.
Yeah, and of course it will be one rat, you know, so you can do all the gardens, can't you, to get the one rat?
Yeah. How do you deal with
that? On the phone before it even gets that far. It's you know, XYZ per treatment, per property, per household.
Yeah, because then you know what happens. You get rid of them, and the woman 2 doors down rings you up and says, "This treatment's failed. They're still in my garden." You're like, what? Like, hey, I don't want to pay. Pauline up the way's paid you, haven't you? You haven't done your job, have you? Like, you just come down and treat them in my garden as well. Like that can be a total shitty stick to be beaten up with, Connor. But how is it not right that the customer expects you do everything in your power to get rid of those rats? And whether you put 3 boxes in her garden or 3 boxes across 3 gardens, what's the difference?
Can I take a side for a second? Because I sort of like this has suddenly made me think of something. Like, so of course, we all use Facebook, we always use Instagram, and the rest of it, and we all get targeted ads. And one of the targeted ads I've been getting, and like literally the conversation you've just been having, made me think of this. I can't remember what the company's called, but basically the company, a pest control company, people will sort of like, right, I need you to kill the rats, and they'll send out a box. And in the box we've got 3 boxes, 3 traps, a whole load of thing, and a QR code. Right. Scan this, and it's a one-to-one FaceTime conversation with the pest control.
I've seen that. Like, the organic pest control company,
something like that. Yeah. And okay, video itself, it is a little bit GCSE drama, but at the same time, the concept, I don't know. What do you guys? Because this is the concept of that feeding into what Sean was saying there, which is actually, are we missing a trick there? You're paying for one, but here you go. Here is the box, here's the box of goodies that I will upsell to Garden 2 and a video on how to sort of like do a supportive treatment on Gardens 2 and 3 while you do the major work on Garden 1. And
no, just charge them 3 times.
Just charge. Okay, playing devil's advocate, but I thought that sort of like.
I think that model fails quickly, Al.
Yeah, I'm just asking your thoughts on it.
Quickly. 1, you can't get the box out of them quick enough. 2, jobs like that, they're probably not going to enter the boxes fast, and they're going to think your boxes are shit, you've done it wrong. But 3, there's so much more. Like, can you lift your drains up? Like, oh no, we can't get in the drains. You haven't solved the problem. Like,
my point.
I think they need that personal.
Oh, absolutely. But as a first point of as a first touch, as a first point of call, that person's either going to go to B&Q's to buy something, or they're going to go to you. Now, how much realistically, other than wasps, how many repeat clients do you get from residentials? Unless they're having a really bad time, how much repeat business do you get for, does Mrs. Miggins phone you up every quarter for extra work? You're saying this. So actually, does this sort of like one shot and done over the internet saves you on fuel, which we all know right now is wildly expensive? Just as a thought, it's that selling a service that's better than B&Q, but at the same time is less effort than actually going out there. Does that solve some of the problems that we've discussed today? Should we be all offering something like that, making it better, with the upsell that actually, let's have a walk around the garden and see what's up. Oh, this is going to be bigger than 4 traps, but let's give it a go. And if not, I'll turn up next week.
No. No,
I don't. I think it'll fail. I think you've got to go, and I think the amount of jobs that we could have solved like that are so minimal. I don't think it works. I think you're right like that. But this is the issue, isn't it? That you'll have customers out there who think, well, why can't you just give us a call? Why can't you just do this? Why can't you just do that? Like, we don't need you here, etc., etc. And I think you create a rod for your own back. Yeah.
So SPC Pest Control just said, I give 10% off if the neighbours want a treatment, as long as all revisits are done on the same day. I'll always charge per property, even though some expect 3 gardens to be treated for the price of 1. So yeah, it's cumulative at that point, isn't it? Because you're not having to spend extra money on extra fuel or extra, it's one job. So your overheads for that should be lower. Your time will be greater though. So yeah, you do have some wiggle room in the margin for additional properties left and right.
Yeah.
Should we do?
No, we've got
one 13 minutes.
Hang on a sec. We've got one more that we've missed that the lads have brought up. And again, I think it's a reasonable expectation from customers. A guarantee. We've got fleas. It's 150 quid. Is that guarantee getting rid of them? Got bed bugs. So much that guarantee getting rid of them. If I pay you for rats, that'll get rid of them, and you'll guarantee that I won't get them again, won't I? Like, is that not a reasonable expectation?
Well, you can expect it all you want.
Yeah.
I have always said, and that we are missing a trick here, because there is a gaping chasm between a guarantee and a warranty, right?
Oh, fucking hell, you sound like who was it was going on about that? Is this not just play on words, though, Al?
No, it's not. No, it's not semantics, and piss off. Basically, a guarantee is I guarantee that there'll be no more things. A warranty is I stand by the quality of my work, and if something happens because my work is not good, then I stand, because we all do that anyway. Like, you wouldn't guarantee the removal of any pest, but you can say that after I've given this the all clear, my warranty says that so long as you do this, so long as you do that, and so long as you do the other, the warranty lasts for 4 weeks, after which it doesn't make any more sense. And for a fact, if someone phones you up 3 days after you've said I've given it all the all clear, and they say you've got something, you have an emotional investment to that. You will be back down there anyway.
I think what would happen. I tell you what my customers would do with that. They'd bring you for the extra visit. Just, you've got rid of fleas, you clear for 4 weeks. I guarantee after a week they'll go, I think I see one, I need you out.
So with that, the thing is the warranty is not here is a free treatment. The warranty says, if after 4 weeks there is a problem still persisting, and you have done, and you put caveats on it, which is, you have continued to do this, you haven't brought things back into the house, you basically do all of the things, and in theory, then you should not have fleas back in there. If you've done your job properly, there shouldn't be fleas. The only reason there would be fleas if fleas have come back in on the cat, or the fleas have come back in on the dogs, or the rest of it. So you put that into your warranty.
Al, they just lie. Those people who are like that, I promise you, they go, yeah, I've done it. Yeah, I've done it. You have to come back to a treatment. You have to come back to a treatment. Don't care. It's our money. We're in charge. Like you would. I get what you're saying. I think you would end up costing yourself a whole lot of money.
Then your warranty is, sorry.
The way that we do it is what we would say is, look, we're going to charge you full price on the first visit. If you need us further visits after that, we'll charge you half price, and that will ensure that we will do the job as to the best of our ability the first time, because we don't want to come back and do it half price the second time. So it's a win for them. It's a win for us. That's the way that I deal with it anyway.
Yeah, that does literally.
It's human nature to take the piss.
It is human nature.
It's the one value, don't they? The one value. And if they can squeeze an extra visit out of you, and they know fine well they don't have them, but they get more value. We had one the other day, dealt with a mouse job in 2 visits. It was done, it was finished, it was complete. And he was like that. Need you to come out and check. I've got 3 visits, haven't I? Yeah, all right, whatever. Like he knew he didn't need it, but he wanted his value. And I think if you give them that warranty, they will get you out. Like they will absolutely get you out.
Then you price it in there. You put the price of the visits up to cover the additional warranty on the bet that they will call you up. But on the chance that they don't call you up, then you've made that you've made the profit on that. But people will take you if you say I've got a warranty on my work, but I am 50% more expensive. People will still pick you over those that don't have a warranty on the work, because they'll think, oh, they don't stand by their work. So you put 50% on it and you run the dice.
You could possibly do an extended warranty, couldn't you? Where you could say it's 100. I don't know. It's £180 for a flea job. If you'd like a warranty with it for 4 weeks, it'll be, I don't know, 220. Like you always do when you buy a mobile phone and you pay for damage protection or something. Yeah.
And there's
Rob Simpson used to say to me, probably says it now, that if you need a guarantee, that's what your contract is. So as soon as they say is there a guarantee, then basically you need to buy a contract where we come out and we do monitoring visits, or we check for them and we include that in the price. But I find it quite interesting. So I was talking to Hugh earlier.
Oh,
it disappeared again, Sean.
I was talking to Hugh, and Hugh said, "Bum bum bum." Come on, he was talking to you. What did he say? Like, what did he say, Hugh? He was talking to you.
I can't remember what. I can't remember now. Hey, oh no, hang on.
But no, like you say, with that, because there's another economic concept here, which is if you offer a high price and a low price, and your low price is your regular price, but the high price is, for this and this and this, it's the gold. This is the platinum service, but I also have the gold and the silver service there as well. People don't necessarily want the silver service because it's the bottom of the pile. They like the look of the platinum service, but my God, is that expensive? I'll go for the gold. And the reality of it is gold is your standard. Gold is your standard service at that point, or a little bit inflated from that. But people will be like, oh, that's much better, because they compare the gold to the platinum as opposed to the gold to the silver, because you put the gold and the silver very close together. Actually, it's not a big leap up from silver to gold. It's only an extra £20, but the difference between gold and platinum is £85. So with that, I love the thought of platinum. And actually, platinum in the things that you get doesn't get me that much more. So gold is a better deal. So people sort of like they make their own value with that, if you follow what I'm saying. Like, I mean, to put another way, if platinum is £150 and it offers you 5 things, and gold is £100 and it offers you 4 things, and then silver is £80 but it offers you 3 things, at that point, the difference between gold and silver is small. But the difference between sort of like difference in price between gold and platinum is high, but the actual difference in value to them perceived, I'm only missing out on one thing, and actually that thing I didn't really want at all. So I'm saving myself £50 by just knocking this thing off. And then people are much more willing to engage with that, thinking that they've got a deal, that they've got the best that they can for their money, and they create their own heuristic environment.
Go on, Sean. Before you disappeared.
Yeah, Rob Simpson used to say that when you want a guarantee, that's when you need a contract. So you need monitoring points in place, and you price up for the visits that they need. However, and I know Hugh was talking about this earlier on, obviously Rob was renter. I've been to rent-to-kill jobs where they had a contract in place for mice, couldn't deal with it. So went to the customer and said, oh, yeah, we need to sell you this for your mouse problem. And they then charged them, or wanted to charge them, an extra 1,200 quid on this particular job to deal with the mouse problem that they already had a contract in place for to deal with mice. How do you feel about that?
I think I've said before, rent-kill surveyors and, I doff my cap to you. You commercially geniuses, ethically, morally, you are dog shit. But there we go.
What do you think,
it's dodgy as fuck. I think it's dodgy as fuck. Sell a contract to somebody for the control of rats and mice, then that's your job. Your job is to control the rats and mice. I mean, if it's all very well and saying that we can't, there's a difference between going back to the customer and saying we're going to charge you extra to deal with your issue, and to put some bait in the boxes, or you go back to them and say, look, you've got a real bad problem. We can't deal with it at the cost that it is now, so we're going to pull out of the contract. If you want us to deal with it, then it's going to cost you this much more. Not so, just like
you've got a contract in place for something, and you're not getting on top of the rats, and then you say to them, we need to put a smart system in place, or we're going to put cameras in. Who should be footing the bill for that? Because they've got a contract in place, haven't they? For rats and mice.
But the smart system wouldn't.
No, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, this is interesting because imagine you are Tesco's, for example, and you've got Tesco's on North Road and Tesco's on South Road, and Tesco's on North Road has Rent-A-Kill in, and Rent-A-Kill tries to pull that stunt. They say, right, this is the contract. However, the problem is greater than the scope of what we achieve, so we're going to have to do something different and better, and it's going to cost you more. Fine. Tesco's on South Road just has Joe Blogg's average pest control, Mama and Papa's pest control. And they say, sorry, this is out of the contract. We're going to have to do something different. Now, the client responds differently to those two people. And you already know what I'm going to say, which is if it's Rent-A-Kill, they're just like, oh, right, well, if that's the best way, if that's what you're doing, if that's what you recommend, then we're going to go for that. But Mama and Pops are going to be like, this is the contract. This is what you signed. You make it work for me. Yeah. And that's how it would go. Yeah. It's the same situation. It's the same pest.
The power of the brand in that name is astronomical.
Yes, exactly.
Astronomical. We've just taken a pigeon shooting job on. Rento have had it for the last however many years, and there was thousands of pigeons on site. I mean, thousands. Next week, remind us to show you the picture of the ones that we shot on our first visit. Right? They were going to fail the audit and blah blah blah. Their technicians are on there on a weekly basis dealing with other pests. They got us in to do the pigeon shoot. We went in, and it went from thousands and thousands on site to like several thousand pigeons to probably 20 over the course of 3 months. We're shooting that many of them. We're shooting hundreds and hundreds every week. Just before the audit was due, Rento come in and said, I think there's some pigeons nesting behind a roller shutter. You need us to do a shooting program on this. And they literally rang me up and they're like, I've said that they need to do a shooting program on this. And I was like, you've literally seen us take this from several thousand down to 20. And because Rento have said it, your arse is wobbling. Like you could see it a mile off. And it was just the power of the brand that people genuinely believe, hand on their heart, right or wrong, whatever the ins and outs of it are, that they are the experts in pest control. There's no getting around it.
I mean, okay, let's harness this to our advantage. Let's look at this, because you're absolutely right. And it is there. It's the power of the brand. People look at it. They look at that uniform. They look at Rentokil and all the rest of it. And they are, you know, the next word in pest control. What they say obviously is, but why? Do they have adverts? No, not really. Do they have a name? Yes. Has that name been around for a long time? So what is it about that brand? Because we can look at it and they're not technically any better. There are some good technicians in there. They've got great training. You know, is it the salespeople? Are they the ones that have the ability to talk and spin the yarn and give the great I am? Or is it the people who are able to sort of like sit behind closed doors and make, you know, talk to the head of Tesco's, talk to the head of Aldi's, talk to the head of, you know.
Do you know what I honestly believe it is? That that Rentokil, rightly or wrongly, and I don't know whether they do or they don't, should give credit to the guys, Colin, who came on here, not Colin Hill,
Smith.
Colin White, Colin
Smith.
Yeah, them guys. I think that they are still not profiting, but they are still
riding on the wave.
Yeah, no, they're still benefiting from the fact that, like it or not, they changed the pest control industry in the 70s, 80s, 90s. You know, they absolutely did, without a shadow of a doubt. And that, like it or not, they come up with some really forward-thinking stuff, you know, that they have first, that they don't give out, and they have lots of IP and blah, blah, blah. You know, digital reporting, they're the first one there, they're the first one of this, the first one of that. And we look at small individual jobs on a one-off, and we see it from our point of view. But the branding is so strong because of the hard work done over the last 50, 60, however many years it is, that if you're a pest controller, you can't whinge about it, you have to suck it up, because Killline will never, ever, ever achieve what Rentokil has achieved. I don't think there's any business, any pest control business in this country will do what they've done, and you can't, you know, you've got to give them props for it. But their ability to command a customer's attention because of the hard work done previously it's astronomical to watch on site. You know, it's astronomical. It's brilliant watch. The what?
I bet every person, most people, most pest controllers, even if they're not, have been called the Rentokil man at some stage.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's the Rentokil man. No, it's not. It's Guardian. We're Guardian. Oh, of course you are. Yeah. That's the power of the brand, like you say. And I can remember a customer just saying, "I'll just get Rentokil in." What?
Oh yeah. Wield it like an axe over your head, don't you?
Just get Rentokil in. You know, well, what are they going to do that we can't do? You know, I was a Rentokil supervisor. You know, it's fine. You don't need to get Rentokil in.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're nearly there, guys. But we haven't even got onto the good yet. But I think what we'll do is, can we just say that we've managed to slag every customer off for the last hour and a half? But actually, that's because they're the ones that stick in our brains. The majority of customers are actually really good. And, you know,
I'm going to change it on your head. I don't think they're good. I don't think they're bad customers at all. I don't think they're customers, because I always say to people, a customer is only you know, that old saying, the customer is always right. But a customer is only a customer when they've commissioned you and are paying you to do a job, aren't they? So like if these don't turn into jobs, they're not customers. All our customers are great. We get on really well with them. Like, we genuinely do, and they're no bother, and they understand, and they talk to you, and they're great. So not even bad customers, are they? They're just knobheads who don't get decent people into their work. Go on longer. What about?
What, good customers and bad customers?
Should we go longer, or should we cut it off now? Now we're in a half.
Well, we've got three options, haven't we? We can either go on longer, we can be like, Hang on. We can go on longer. We can fuck off. Go on longer, cut it short, or we can pin it and do it another week when we have another guest walk out on us. So what do we do? Quickly in the comments, guys. 1, 2, or 3. Go on longer, cut it short, or save it for another week. First to 3 on any one of those options, and we'll do that.
Let us vote. I think pin it and do good customer another week. And we talk about, give examples of when customers have been brilliant.
Okay. Yeah.
Why they were brilliant, what they did to make them brilliant, etc. That's my vote. Alex, you?
I think that was my vote half an hour ago.
I think we could do a whole episode on good customer, how to be a good customer, how to get the most out of your pest controller. How about that one? That'd be quite a good one, actually.
Yeah.
So it'll wind you up. Yeah, fucking will.
Yeah.
So on that note, we will come back and we will do a good customer, and we've all had great customers, so that should be a good one. Say good night.
See you later, guys. Bye.
Yes.
God bless.
Thank you for listening to the Beauties and Beasties podcast.